So I haven't gotten a chance to talk about Yama yet, which is going to be a endgame duo boss fight. This sounds very interesting, and it looks like that they've already had some responses, so that's good we can cover. Okay, so blog update. This was Thursday, March 6th. We're back with an update blog. I missed all the hustle and bustle of RuneFest. It hasn't been the easiest job seeing all of your thoughts on Yama in one place. So we're back to give you a refresher and make a handful of tweaks based on some of the questions and misconceptions we've seen or were asked about at RuneFest. We'll aim to keep things quick and come back with more significant tweaks soon. So let's check all of these out. So some points raised are, some sources said Yama would be coming in the summer, others spring. Which is it? So spring, assuming things go smoothly with Greenlight polling rewards. So I guess if they can figure out all the rewards, then the sooner the boss will come. So this next one here, some players expressed concerns that contracts sounded similar to invocations at TOA. Now, personally, I kind of liked this, but we've made no secret about not being over the moon with invocations in hindsight and want to prove some reassurance that contracts should fundamentally change the feel of the fight or the way that you approach it, rather than feeling like a small change with buffed numbers. So yeah, basically what they were saying with invocations at TOA is some of them made like the slightest change in one room, right? Where it didn't really make the whole raid itself harder. So they kind of want to make these new contracts a little bit different. It's not the case that you stack a bunch of different contracts. Instead, you sign one and take on that particular fight rather than mix and matching or customizing too heavily. I don't know. I was personally a fan of TOA and how it worked, but I guess they don't like that approach, which does make sense because it can be a lot easier to get like 300s at TOA, for example, with certain invocations. So the next one here talks about the Soulflame Horn. So basically, here's a couple of clarifications that we reckon should tackle a good chunk of common questions. So the Horn special attack only works on melee. The Horn special attack's accuracy boosting effect only works on the first accuracy roll within 6 seconds, not the first attack. So this means that the weapon, like the Scythe or the Dragon Dagger, where multiple hits roll accuracy separately, will only see their first hit splats accuracy increased, not all of them. So it's not going to be as overpowered, I guess, as people were thinking. So for Irons, we'll be experimenting with a system where you can benefit from somebody's Soulflame Horn, but only if you've obtained one for yourself. That is a new mechanic, I believe. We don't want the case to be that you can't raid with your friends if you're an Iron, but equally we'd like to prevent abuse cases like Soulflame Horn, Crystal Halberd special attack spam at Necreals to speed through melee training, and cases where your character isn't already well progressed. Okay, that makes complete and total sense. And equipping the Soulflame Horn will require level 80 magic. So is there a quest requirement? You'll need to have completed a Kingdom Divided to be able to take on Yama and interact with the new mining activity. And can we solo it? You can. Yama won't go easier on you though. Good luck in all seriousness. We want Yama to be most efficient slash worthwhile to take on in duo. Now, before the Royal Titans, I definitely would have not really liked this whole duo thing, because especially if you do play an Ironman, you really get used to playing the game solo. But the Royal Titans surprised me, and the duo part of it was extremely fun. Now, the only thing I have concerns about is, say, 2-3 years from now, when not as many people are doing this content, it may be harder to find a duo partner than, say, at release, right? But we're not going to force you to duo. Enjoy the added challenge. Players pointed out some of the numbers being off for the Soul Armor's set stats / table. So we fixed these up and can only apologize for the initial error. Stat lines were undergoing a lot of tweaking in the run up to RuneFest, and some of the errors slipped through the cracks. So the numbers and the images in the blog are now correct, which is going to be nice to go and look at. Some players wanted abyssal worms to come from elsewhere. We'd like to keep them where they're at. PVM and skilling have become intertwined in many aspects, and we'd like for Yama to have some supply drops too. I like that. Having said that, we want to try steering away from boss drops a lot of food, and instead experiment with boss drops, things that make it more worthwhile for you to go and get that food for yourself. This isn't a hill that we're willing to die on, but we're not sold on moving these just yet. I kind of like that. I'd rather have some supply drops, you know? And Cosmic Soul Rune isn't a very good name, so fair enough, keep your suggestions coming. We went with this name just to keep things simple, a clear description of what the rune's doing and easy to talk about with your pals, while also making it obvious that it's a catalytic combination rune. Something like Divine Rune sounds like it could be a different rune entirely. I'm not really too worried about the name personally, but it's funny. Now, I personally haven't went over Yama yet on the channel, so let's take a look at this boss together, and we can discuss down in the comments what we like and what we dislike about it and the rewards. So as you may have gathered from the opening exposition, Yama is not for the faint of heart. Challenging a demon this powerful is a task for only the most cunning among you. Which means this boss is geared towards end game players. To be fair, we have gotten a lot of like lower to mid-level content recently, so I guess it is about time that we get something for the end game players. Down here, Yama makes the rules, and because he knows the deal is in his favor, he'll even let you bring a friend to help out. So since this is an endgame piece of content, we're going to let you discover most of the mechanics for yourself. You can expect Yama to pull out every trick he's learned in his long existence. So powerful magic, bloodthirsty minions, manic cultists, good old-fashioned fireballs, you'll get the gist. While difficulty comparisons are always a struggle, the baseline experience will be a step beyond the Desert Treasure 2 bosses. So personally, I found the Desert Treasure 2 bosses, some of them extremely difficult, so this will definitely be interesting. They're really leaning more towards these crazy end bosses, which is a good thing because old school is evolving. We're getting a lot more gear, stuff like that. And then eventually, if you learn to take these on, the older bosses should be a lot easier. And you'll have the ability to change up the fight by engaging with one of Yama's favorite pastimes, the contract. So it looks like maybe you'll be able to make it a little easier for yourself for learning, which I think is always good if you have the option to scale down the boss to kind of learn the mechanics, and eventually you can maybe upscale it to fit your experience and maybe get more rewards for doing so. So Yama loves a good binding agreement, and he's more than willing to lay some extra goodies on the dotted line. Exactly, right? So the contract mechanic could go in a number of directions, but the gist is that you'll be able to trade a harder fight for different rewards. We've discussed a few options below, but right now everything is on the table. We expect that contracts will go far beyond the original fight and prove to be seriously tough, similar to awakened bosses from Desert Treasure 2. Damn, okay, interesting. So if you'd like to welcome Yama into your life, and he really thinks you should, simply vote yes to the following poll question. Okay, I do like the fact that it is going to be duo because, like I said, the Royal Titans kind of convinced me that duo bosses will work in the game. Like I said, not so sure for the long term because, like I said, 2-3 years from now, how many people are going to be doing this, and it might be harder to get a bunch of people together to do it, but they can be fun, so I'm very interested to see how this will go. Okay, so now of course we're going to be discussing some of the rewards from Yama. So basically the Death Charge upgrade. So for Yama, the Arceus spellbook contains little more than party tricks. He's taken it upon himself to elevate some spells to new heights. So if you're lucky, you could snag a piece of the Grimoire. and put some of his forbidden knowledge to use. So for the average magic user, converting a slain foe into special attack energy is as draining as it is morbid. With the right technique though, there's always room for more juice. So this upgrade would permanently buff your death charge, allowing you to gain special attack energy from 2 enemies per cast rather than just 1. So this could be extremely powerful. I'm assuming this will work with the light bearer as well and just be able to get a lot of the special attack energy back. This could be extremely powerful in certain scenarios, and I'm sure a lot of players would love to get this upgrade. I do also like the fact that it is a direct upgrade, similar to the new prayers with the Royal Titans. Rather than just adding a new spell, this is a direct upgrade, so it's very nice to see. Okay, so we have the Surge Potion. If there's one thing demons love, it's consumption. You adventuring types are just as gluttonous, so a consumable reward is the perfect fit. Like all good demons these days, Yama drops a strange piece of himself, some demonic towel to be exact. These tradable organs can be used to make a brand new potion, boasting an effect never before seen in old school. Okay, so it's a brand new potion, of course, and let's see the effect. So these potions have a hefty herbal requirement, but they should be more than worth the effort. Once every 5 minutes, you can sip from a surge potion to restore 25% of your special attack energy. Okay. We imagine this will come in handy during enrage phases, clutch moments on low HP, and speed running, or you can simply use it to give yourself a defense reducing special attack at the start of every kill. Oh, interesting. I never even thought of that. So you could sip it, right? And then use like a dragon, maybe not a dragon warhammer, but some defense reducing special attack. Very cool. This might be also really powerful in PvP, right? Because you could like get another DDS back out of it. Okay, so you will need level 81 Herblore, some demonic towel, and a Torstal, or an unfinished Torstal potion, to make this surge potion for yourself. Oh, and you'll also need a drop of your own blood to make the magic happen. So this secondary means you're making a brew tailored to you. So these potions are untradeable, though all of the ingredients except for your blood are tradable. So no use for pures, I guess, in PvP, kind of what I was thinking. Kind of interesting that they are doing this. Does make sense though, because that could be extremely overpowered, especially for PKing, like I was saying. Very interesting. So they will be untradeable. Wonder if it's going to damage you or anything by taking any of your blood, but these will be very nice potions to use, especially like combined with things like the light bearer and all the new effects that we're getting. It's really boosting special attack. So the Cosmic Catalyst, so if you've ever spent minutes staring at the bank, figuring out which runes to take out to cast everything you need from the Arceus spellbook, then you'll love this one. So the Cosmic Catalyst are tradable, stackable drops from Yama that will allow you to make a new combination rune. So long as you have 90 rune crafting, massive requirement, you'll be able to combine cosmic and soul runes into a cosmic soul rune, which they said they were going to change the name of that, but who cares? Whose name shows, yeah, whatever. So I do like the idea of this because, like they said, the Arceus spellbook, you never really know which runes you need, and you know, even with the 4 available slots in the rune pouch, it can still be kind of a mess. So why not? Especially with all these new upgrades to it, we're going to be using it more. So we have Abyssal Worms. So now for one you've all been waiting for, it's worms. So yeah, being the master of packs isn't all brimstone. It's hungry work and occasionally indulging in a hobby or two. Should you prove successful in your battle with Yama, you might earn yourself a handful of abyssal worms. These worms will increase the rate at which you catch angler fish. handy for topping up those supplies for another day. Okay, so this is actually a very nice thing because anglerfish are one of the slowest fish to catch in the game, but a lot of people like to AFK these, so maybe they'll be viable now. Maybe you can make some good money fishing now, or maybe boost the experience, you know what I mean? I'm not sure. Did they say that these would be tradable? I'm not too sure, but that is a very, very nice reward in my opinion. Okay, so this is the new armor that everyone is freaking out about. So, the Soul Armor. So this new set of armor is something of a side grade to Torva, as a full set boasts a plus 38/ accuracy over Torva at the cost of 6 melee strength. So effectively, when paired with the Scythe, this armor out competes Torva against enemies with high defense, but loses out in situations where accuracy is less important. Okay, so it's going to be a brand new armor set. If people even don't want to get Torva, this could be a massive upgrade as well, I'm assuming, right? So we've got the Soul Helmet right here, the Soul Chest Plate, and we also have the Soul Plate Legs, and we can see the stats here. They look very, very powerful. Look at the helmet with a plus 6 melee strength. This will require 78 defense to wear. I'm not too sure how rare this is going to be, but this looks like a nice set of armor. So compared to Torva, this new set is a bit weaker to stab, crush, and ranged, but slightly better against magic damage and significantly tougher against slash damage. So here's a quick table, to show you how these two sets compare. So this is going to be the full soul versus the Torva armor. So it's going to be the differences here, obviously. So it's obviously better at slash and worse at, say, stab, crush. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Hopefully, depending on how difficult the boss is, I might go for it. So we've got the Soulflame Horn. While some bits of group content do a great job of giving players roles to perform, most of it devolves into you and your friend doing the same thing you always do together. But do you hear that? It's the booming blow of the Soulflame Horn, here to spice up how you tackle group combat. Now, to be clear, this is not something that will be required for every group fight from now until the end of time. In the right group scenarios, this is a very powerful addition to your team's kit, but we don't want anyone thinking they can't hang out with their friends because they don't have it yet. The stats ain't much, but the Soulflame's Horn boasts a unique special attack. So the Soulflame's Horn Rousing Bellow will provide an additional 100% accuracy to allies within 2 tiles of you, guaranteeing their next melee hit within 6 seconds is successful against NPCs. This costs 25% per player affected, so you're limited to 4 allies, but it will also grant you the same buff. It affects an ally. The accuracy enhancing effect also applies to special attacks, so it should be easy to understand the potential of the Soulflame Horn into defense reducing special attacks combo. Okay, so it's going to be used, I would say, in a big group of people doing raids or whatever at the start of a fight. The one guy uses it, and people that are within 2 tiles will have a guaranteed successful hit against the NPC. So it is interesting for sure. I don't know how this is going to work. I'd love to see a video or something of it. So right now, the Chasm of Fire is just sort of there. Demons in the Catacombs of Karen already offer Dark Totem pieces and Ancient Shards, and Demonic Slayer tasks are usually aimed at Kirill, Demonic Gorillas, or Tormented Demons. So yeah, that's very true. I don't think anyone even goes to the Chasm of Fire. The other day I had a Black Demon task, and I was like, where do I even kill these things besides the Catacombs? And I was looking, and I'm like, oh yeah, but why would I go there? Because of what they already said, the Dark Totems and the Ancient Shards. Much better to just go here. So we're not going to get into all the specifics just yet. There's time for that in future vlogs, but we've got a couple of things we'd like to add to give the Chasm of Fire a little more life, even for those of you who aren't looking to take on Yama. We don't want to dive into everything we're looking at to do with the Chasm just yet, so expect more detail in the near future. Would be nice to have a reason to go there, you know, rather than just go to, say, the catacombs, because it would make both the spaces a little less empty, so people could do their Slayer tasks in peace. So there is a new mining activity. So we've got a brand new mining method that will give you some rare and exciting new ore. In exchange for a bit of physical labor, you'll earn a new ore which can be combined with an armor shard dropped by Yama to forge a chunk of soul armor for yourself. Armor shards are a common drop, so you can choose to save them up for a piece that you're missing, or you could sell them for a tidy profit if you've been lucky enough to get the whole set as a drop already. This system sits alongside conventional drop mechanics for the individual soul armor pieces. We'd expect that you'd likely have obtained a number of pieces organically before obtaining enough shards to make one for yourself. It's our hope that the relationship between entire soul armor pieces dropping, the armor shards, and the ore from this activity will self-regulate. What we mean by this is that if loads of people do the mining activity for the ore, then they will go down in price, and the more of the value will sit with the armor shard from Yama, driving the GP per hour up of Yama. Okay. If people stop doing the mining activity, then the armor shard will lose value and the ore will go up, driving the GP of the mining activity up. So they want it to be kind of side by side. Okay. Now, to be honest, this activity does sound really fun. The whole boss itself, I can't wait to see some more spoilers, some pictures and stuff of what the actual boss and the encounter will look like, and some videos of the new rewards as well. Very exciting. Definitely some good changes, some flat upgrades, but more or less they're kind of trying to keep things balanced, you know what I mean? Not trying to make Torva the best in every kind of situation. There's a new kind of best for, say, the Slash, you know. It's very interesting. I love when they do stuff like this to the game, but let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of this boss, if you're going to be tackling it, and if not, or if you're maybe excited for the mining activity. I don't know what it is, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will catch you in the next video. See ya later.